Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's me, your boy Cryptid. So we have unfortunately very little time left in the beta, and with the Etheria Restart beta coming to an end, we really need to take into account and maybe let the devs know about some things they might be able to change to improve the quality of life in the game before the official release on June 5th. And with that in mind, I have 5 things that I feel like could be improved upon before the release that wouldn't really take a lot of time to deal with. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. And the very first thing I think needs to be implemented is a slight UI design. And what do I mean by that? I mean that, unfortunately, I feel like there's no way of getting to your inventory from the main screen. You have to go into this screen and do all that. I feel like they need to have an inventory button here. I don't feel like we need the workstation or anything like that. I feel like that could just be an inventory button. And it just feels sometimes confusing at times to try and navigate this, to try and find where you need to go. Uh, I feel like they just need a slight UI design, and maybe just, I know it's not a huge thing, but just put the inventory here so we don't have to press 2, 3 buttons to get to the inventory of where we need to go. We could just press it right here. Simple, easy, and I feel like it wouldn't be too much of an issue. All right. Now, with the first one out of the way, let's talk about the second one. The second one might be a little controversial. It's going to be the summoning system. Now, not the regular summons. No, I feel like the regular summons are perfectly fine. What I'm worried about is the LD summons. Uh, I don't know if this is supposed to be this way where you can't pull on it unless you have the tickets, or if it's some kind of bug in the beta, but I feel like you should be able to pull on them just like you pull on the regular or the limited banner. I feel like you should be able to spend crystals on this. But besides the point, I feel like for both these banners, they need to drop the cost from 300 crystals per pull to 200. Just because I feel like 3 times the cost per pull of a normal summon is a bit extreme, and I feel like double the cost is perfectly fine. I just feel like, spending 3,000 on one 10 pull is a lot. It's just, I feel like a good happy medium, because obviously it cannot be the same price as a regular unit. Then why would anybody pull on the standard banner? They'd just pull on this until they got all 4 of the LD units, right? They need to have some sort of increased cost because all the LD units are extremely good. So I feel like putting it at 200 is a happy medium to where they're still spending a little bit more to get to it, but it's not so much more that it just feels like nobody except whales can do it, right? At least this way, somebody could throw a summon here or there and it won't be too big of a deal. So that's my thought on it. I feel like it's very fair and justified to not have to spend 3,000 crystals on one tin pool. I feel like it's a bit ridiculous. So, another thing I feel like needs to change is the gear upgrades. Now, what about the gear upgrades, you're asking? I feel like the gear upgrades cost too much to deal with. I feel like um, leveling up between 1 and 9, I feel like should not cost too much, because you don't know if you want to invest in that item yet. You want to see what kind of rolls you can get for like the first couple rolls to see if you really want to invest and take it all the way. But how it is right now is you'll go broke just rolling a couple pieces of gear before you even get one to max. So I feel like from 1 to 9 should be very inexpensive, and be able to get you to at least see where it's going to roll to, or see what path it's going to take, right? And then from 9 to max 15, I feel like should be the most expensive part, because that way you're maxing out the the big stat, the base stat that it comes with, as well as getting the final rolls to see if it's worth anything. So definitely the beginning rolls, maybe not 1 to 9, but 1 to 6, something in the earlier stage, it just needs to cost less, because I feel like it ramps up so much, it's just not worth rolling anything more than like twice. Personally. Another thing, I think is a standard in the gacha space now that I don't know why they don't have, but I feel like they need to have an energy overcap. Especially because I feel like this game really gives you a bunch of energy, which is fine. It's awesome. I love having excess amounts of energy. What I don't like having to do is hop on this game 2-3 times a day to spend it, because I feel like it's becoming a second job just to play this game. I know for a lot of people, it is a job to play this game, but most people, they have a real job, they have a life. They can't hop on this game 24/7 to spend this energy. So I know when you level up, you get more energy reserves. I have 33 extra points of energy that I can have because I'm level 33. And then also if you get the pass, you get 20 extra. But for people who don't want to spend money on the game, that 20 extra isn't really going to help you out because you're never going to get it. So I feel like, just having, it doesn't have to be a large energy pool cap, but I feel like just having a little bit would take the pressure off of people, so they don't feel like they have to log into this multiple times a day to just play the game and feel like you're having FOMO, not from characters, but just from the amount of energy you get. Now, like I said, I know it's fantastic to have this excess amount of energy. It's just sometimes, you get caught up in the day. You can't log in, the second you wake up, in the middle of the day, and the second before you go back to bed. Sometimes you can only log in once a day at times. So just a little bit of energy cap. You don't need to have a huge reservoir, just a little bit, just to help people out. And the very last thing, which it sounds like not a huge thing, would probably be the Phantom Theater. Now, what could possibly be wrong with the Phantom Theater? Well, I feel like it's not explained enough. Now, I understand it. I feel like it's fine. But I cannot tell you how many people I've tried to play this with that have no idea what's happening. I don't know if it's either bugging on their side, because it is a beta, so that is a possibility. I don't know if it's either bugging on their side, or if it's they just don't understand and they're flipping through the tutorial too fast, or what is happening. But people just don't understand, and I have to join in a lobby, the other person doesn't get what's happening, then they leave the lobby, and it's a cycle of that until I finally get somebody who understands that they need to have their team, the ally team, and then a co-op team. For some reason, people aren't figuring this out, and it really ruins the experience a bit to play this when the other person you're supposed to be playing with just doesn't understand anything about this. So maybe a little bit more in-depth tutorial for this would, I feel like, help the situation a little bit better. And this is really the only game mode I feel like has any kind of issue. The other game modes I feel like are pretty self-explanatory, that being really the only co-op one besides the union stuff. But, I feel like these are just 5 different things that I would improve upon in the game to just improve quality of life. They're not groundbreaking things. All these things you can live without, but I feel like it would definitely improve the quality of the game if at least a couple of these things are implemented, especially the energy cap and the UI reorganization, because I would really like to have the inventory here instead of having to go to this menu and do all that. It's not a huge deal. It would just help a little bit with quality of life. But thank you all for watching. I appreciate you listening to me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.